I had Brent on the show earlier this year, and we were talking about radio as an art form. And what he had said was just like acting, radio. A lot of people don't know this, that radio requires a lot of practice, skill, and effort. And it's not what people think it is about just going up to a mic and just speaking as you would normally, or just talking to a bunch of friends. So, is that how you view it as well? Is it every time you're on the breakfast show, do you think you're creating art?
150,000%. I worked really hard to learn the craft of radio and television. When I did my major as a broadcast journalism major, I learned. It's not like I just, because I had a decent voice or I could speak and string a sentence together, I was in radio. So at Hofstra, which is the university that I attended, they had a radio station, but it wasn't just a college for the college campus. It was actually, we broadcast in the town. So it was a proper radio station. It was a community radio station, that had a program director, a chain of command, separate from the university, but employed only university students on air. It was like that. And I had to take classes and take an exam in order to even be considered in joining the radio station. So I had to really work hard and learn, how do you operate a board, the technicalities of radio. It's not just you push a button and the mic is on. There's a lot of technicality that goes into it. Knowing your audience, knowing how to say what you're trying to say, the art of expressing yourself in 30 seconds between two songs and making it interesting enough. That's an art form, Why are storytellers? I think, you know what? That's the word. Radio presenters are storytellers at the end of the day. We are telling you a story. That story could be the traffic, the weather, something interesting about a celebrity, or something about your life. But we are in the art of presenting you information in an interesting, unique way.
So, what's the feeling like when the door closes in the morning and you're sitting on that three-way table? You've got Kris Fade on one end, you've got Big Rossi on the other end. Do you ever get this feeling that what you're doing in that moment is something really special? I'm not sure how the Beatles felt when they were recording their music, but do you ever get this feeling that what you're doing is something that people might look back on, remember very fondly, that you guys were the pioneers of something massive? Like, you don't know how big the impact might be, but in that moment, you just get that feeling that what we're doing right now is something that's going to be legendary.
I think, you know what, on a day-to-day basis, it's sometimes hard to understand the scope of what you're doing because we don't get to see our audience. It's just the three of us in the room talking to each other. But there are definitely moments when we may be talking to a listener and they're telling us their story, or we've done an interview with someone absolutely amazing. And in that conversation, we kind of look at each other like, we have a term in radio. It's like, this is gold. That's the term that we use for when something is extraordinary, or we know this is like a moment. So there are definitely times that we look at each other and we go, this is gold. Like, you go home that day knowing that you have either impacted someone, have told a story that deserved to be told, not your own, but like someone's, like whether it's a listener, an interview, whatever it is, or you go home knowing that what you did, whether even if it's comedy, that what you created in that room today was gold. It was magic. Like, we do get that feeling sometimes.
That seems to be a very powerful feeling. You've spoken in the past as well that no matter how tired you are in the morning, you do an early breakfast show, so you wake up quite early in the morning, and the moment the mic switch on, you say it's, in a way, it's a kind of a high and it rejuvenates you. Is there a way to actually put that feeling into words? Like, is it a kind of a high? Is it a, like, do you get into a flow state of sorts when the door closes and it's just you three talking?
Just like any other job, when the clock starts, right? But for us, Papa, for us, it's like when the mic is on, you are on. You have a responsibility. Imagine I'm reading the news at 6 o'clock in the morning and I sound like this. Hey, it's Priti from the Air and News Center. Are you kidding me? I can't do that, I have a responsibility at the end of the day to present information and to be on this show. Like, and you can't be that way. I will say though, if we're having somewhat of a bad day, we will call each other out on it on air. Like we are very real in the sense that we will call each other out. But in the process of the show, your mood changes, so yeah.